In the frozen hush of deep space, billions of miles from Earth, a machine born of the 1970s has done something it was never designed to do. Voyager 1, the farthest traveling creation of humankind, has turned not outward but inward. Not toward the stars ahead, but back, toward us. Toward the sun. Toward home. And what it found, what it sent through the cold and distance, has shaken the minds of scientists, startled engineers, and left astronomers speechless. This isn't just about how far it's gone. It's about what it uncovered. Because the data Voyager just returned contradicts nearly everything we thought we knew about the space beyond our solar system. Magnetic fields. Plasma waves. Cosmic particles. They once told a consistent story. But now, that story is unraveling. And what's most astonishing, this revelation didn't come from cutting-edge tech. It came from a probe with less processing power than an old digital wristwatch, fueled by a fading plutonium core that's been dying for decades. And yet, through that silence, something spoke. What did Voyager 1 just confirm? What is it in this quiet signal that feels less like data? It began with a rare cosmic alignment. A celestial coincidence that occurs only once every 176 years. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, all aligned in just the right way to allow a single spacecraft to slingshot past them, using their gravity as a highway. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 was never meant to endure for decades. But nearly 50 years later, it's still out there, faster, farther than anything we've ever built. It brought us Saturn's ghostly rings, Jupiter's furious storms, the moons that looked like alien worlds. But none of that compares to what it faces now. Because now, Voyager isn't just gliding through space. It's entered a region we were never prepared to see. A domain where the sun's reach fades. Crossing into interstellar space, that should have been a clean, well-understood transition. Our theories were confident. A sharp drop in solar wind. A new magnetic field, more cosmic radiation. But when Voyager 1 crossed the heliopause in August 2012, something unexpected happened. The particle density changed, yes. But the magnetic field? It didn't shift. It remained eerily familiar, as if the spacecraft had passed through a doorway only to find the same room on the other side. And then, came the whispers. Low-frequency waves. Plasma oscillations. Rhythms that shouldn't exist in the vacuum. Not random, but patterned. Deliberate. Some scientists wondered, had Voyager actually left the sun's bubble? Or was the edge of the solar system not a boundary at all, but a veil, layered, turbulent, intelligent? Years after that crossing, Voyager's data began changing. Plasma noise, once consistent, started fluctuating strangely. Not from stars. Not from distant explosions. But from a source that mirrored Voyager's own transmission. A kind of feedback. As if the void itself had started to answer. Not with binary. Not with words. But with vibration. Frequency. Rhythm. Was the interstellar medium responding? Was something out there listening, or worse, embedded within the fabric of space? Researchers called it resonance. Others dared whisper darker possibilities. And the signals only grew stronger. Seen. Voyager's data feed glitches, visual distortions, then Voyager paused. For almost 2 weeks, its data stream became erratic. Not gone. Just inconsistent. As if it had been redirected. Hijacked. Or interrupted. Then, without explanation, the feed resumed. But the instruments had changed focus. A hopeful offering from a young civilization to the unknown. But what if that message wasn't just floating anymore? What if something had already heard it? After Voyager reoriented, NASA analysts saw subtle changes, patterns in the electromagnetic noise, rhythms that resembled the audio waves encoded on the record. Mirrored pulses. Echoes of melody. As if the message had not just been found, but answered. Not in words, but in reflection. A response born not of voice, but of awareness. Then came the dust. Voyager's ancient dust sensor, all but forgotten, started detecting impacts. Tiny particles. Too frequent. Too fast. Too organized. Not drifting freely, but directed. Clustered. Some carried isotopes rare even within our own galaxy. Theories exploded. Was this dark matter turbulence? Artificial debris? The edge of some ancient, broken structure too large to comprehend? Had Voyager brushed against something that wasn't natural? Then, Voyager moved. Not by thrust. Not by gravity. But by something else. Its course shifted slightly, just enough to trigger alarms. And no one could explain it. No force we know of could do this in empty space. Unless something had reached out, and pulled it. And finally, through the last functioning sensor, a signal. A drop in frequency. Followed by a surge. Not noise. Not interference. But a pattern. Rising. Falling. Repeating. Then, silence. Some called it a heartbeat. Others compared it to tectonic pulses. But one fact remained: it came from behind Voyager. From the path it had already traveled. From where the signal first began. Was it a transmission? A beacon? Or the trail of something moving unseen through the dark? Voyager 1 was never meant to be a sentinel. It was a message in a bottle, thrown into the ocean of the cosmos. But now, it has turned back. Not because we asked, but because something has taken notice. We used to think the universe was silent, that it watched us pass with indifference. But Voyager's latest message suggests otherwise. That boundaries aren't where we thought. That signals can echo without origin. That invisible forces may guide our machines, and maybe even our fate. We never expected Voyager to survive this long. And we certainly never imagined it would return not with photographs, but with a warning. So what now? We listen. We wonder. And perhaps we prepare. Because if Voyager just confirmed that we are not alone, then this is not the end of the story. It's only the beginning. Voyager 1 was built to observe. To document. To drift. But now, it has become something else, a relay between two realms. When it turned back toward us, it didn't just send data. It sent something no machine should be capable of, a decision. They watched its instruments shift. Watched the signal stutter, then stabilize. But the numbers on their screens no longer fit any known model. Particle velocities oscillating. Magnetic readings collapsing, reforming, like a rhythm, like a code. The silence between pulses grew shorter. The patterns began repeating, evolving. As if Voyager had entered a dialogue. Not with a planet. Not with a system. But with space itself. The heliopause, once thought of as a shell, a clean border between solar and galactic space, now seems more like skin. Thin, permeable, alive. Some in the Voyager team believe what we once called interstellar space isn't space at all, but an environment. A kind of medium. Structured. Layered. Responsive. We assumed it was empty. But what if it's more like an ocean?